Hi and welcome to Revival Magazine interviews. Today we're going to be interviewing Mike Pilavachi from Soul Survivor in the UK.
Well, it's great to be here. I always love coming here, and we started about 19, 20 years ago, and really we work with young people in the UK and in other parts of the world. And the main thing we're kind of known for is we have festivals in the summer where young people come, they bring their friends who aren't yet Christians. We try and make it as user-friendly as we can with cafes and sports and other activities. But at the heart of it is worship of Jesus, hearing his word, and an openness to being filled by his Spirit and equipped to serve him. And we've seen God do some amazing things over the years. Lots of young people come to know Jesus. Lots of young people get filled with the Spirit. Lots of young people go on to do great things. That's the main thing we do, and there's lots of things around that. We try and serve youth leaders and help and encourage them. And we've also started something called Momentum, which is for those who are a little bit older than Soul Survivor, those in their 20s, who actually we need to help, because in our country, in the United Kingdom, we've been hemorrhaging 20-somethings from the church, and we need to address that. So that's what we're trying to do.
That's amazing. And what has been kind of the latest developments, would you say, with Soul Survivor?
Well, we're doing the same things we did 20 years ago, really, except we just want to do it more. We want to keep doing it. We keep wanting to reach young people. This last summer, we had just over 32,000 young people came to the festivals, and 1,700 gave their lives to Christ for the first time. And that's the best bit, seeing a whole bunch of young people become Christians. And even yesterday, I had a little message from one of them saying, the best thing that happened to me in my life was in August, when on the second night I came forward and gave my life to Jesus. And you hear that again and again and again. So what we want to do is we want to keep reaching young people. We want to work with other friends to serve the church in its evangelism and reaching out to the community, particularly to young people. But also we want to disciple this generation and help local churches, because that's where discipleship happens, in their work in discipleship. So we produce resources, like we produced a Bible in a year 2 years ago, and we launched it, and 20,000 young people bought a copy, and thousands of them last year went through the Bible with us every day, and we had a website and everyone could make their comments, and we're doing it again this year, and we're going to do it every year because we want to get young people into the Word.
That's really incredible. What kind of inspires and drives you to work with young people specifically?
Well, two things. First of all, if I'm honest, I believe God's called me to do it, and I know that's a cliche, but it's more than a cliche. You've got to do what you believe God tells you. But also part of that was, when I was a teenager, my life was tough, and I struggled with things. And from when I was 21, 22, I always wanted to try and help young people not to go through what I went through unnecessarily. And that's where it started. I started helping with a youth group, and then I became the full-time youth pastor, and then everything has just kind of developed since then, bit by bit, but it's still doing the same thing. And I love young people. I really love young people. I love working with them. I love serving them. I love their openness. I love their willingness to change. I love their honesty, their vulnerability, all of that stuff. So, you know, I'm now 53, so I'm probably one of the oldest youth workers in the world, but I want to keep going.
That's brilliant. So the summer festivals, they're kind of packed with young people from all sorts of denominations, all walks of life. And do you find that they're all comfortable with the ministry of the Spirit in the ministry times?
The people that are most comfortable are usually the non-Christians. Those that come from churches where that doesn't happen, we have to do a lot of explaining. And we don't try and close anything down. We've agreed with the Lord that whatever he wants to do, he can do. It's his festival. He's in charge. He's the boss. But what we try and do is make it as accessible as possible. So I'm always trying to explain. Now, you may be wondering what's going on there. I think this is this. This is what we're always trying to give the theology a little bit, the practice. This is why we do what we do. This is what happens when people fall down afterwards. this is what they say, they met with Jesus, or if someone does this, or someone reacts like that. And all the time, we're trying to explain it and make it accessible. But at the beginning of the week, there are young people who've never been before who are thinking, what have I come to? By the end of the week, just about all of them are just in love with Jesus. Because when the Holy Spirit comes, you fall in love with Jesus. And we surround it all with worship, with fellowship. Everyone's in villages camping where they can discuss these things. We try our very best to make it as accessible for the young people as possible.
Yeah, as a person that's been to the festivals a lot of times, I'd say that that's really, really true, and it's amazing to see. It's really great. What do you see happening with Soul Survivor in the future?
I really don't know. We keep saying to the Lord, Lord, when you want us to stop, you just tell us and we'll stop. He hasn't told us yet. I think I have a team of young leaders who are magnificent, who I know are going to continue to do this. I want to do this for as long as I can. And we don't have any grand strategy. Every year we want to try and listen to the voice of our Father. Jesus said, I only do what I see my Father doing. And we want to see what the Father's doing. We want to see what the Father's in, and then we want to follow him. We desperately don't want to be asking him to bless what we're doing. We want to see what he's doing and bless that. We want to join in with his ministry. And that's what we've tried to do from the beginning. So I can't answer that really. All we long to do is serve young people for as long as he lets us.
That's great. Just to finish up, we've asked this question with everyone we've interviewed so far. What inspires you most at the moment?
What inspires me most at the moment? I think there's a couple of things. First of all, I know it sounds again corny, but Jesus. Jesus. I mean, just listening to Jesus speak through his word in other ways. You know, again, I've just been reading through the Gospels again, and just how amazing Jesus is. The way he was always so kind and tender to the broken, to those on the margins, how he always went out of his way. You know, there was the little guy up the tree that he noticed. There was the woman who'd been bleeding for 12 years. He felt her touch in the crowd. There was the guy that disrupted his meeting in the region of the Gerasenes because he had a legion of demons, and he stopped the meeting to deal with the one guy. There was the woman caught in adultery who he was very gentle with. There was the woman at the well who'd had 5 husbands, and the man she was currently living with wasn't her husband. And the way he had time for her, you see it again and again and again and again. And I love that. It's our Saviour, it's our Jesus. So he's the inspiration, and he's the one we follow. At the same time, when you see him not only at work in the Gospels, which I love, but at work today, it's amazing. And we just literally, there was one little story from this summer that we saw hundreds and hundreds of young people healed as well as come to salvation. There was one morning, we got the kids, anyone who had anything physically wrong with them, to stand up. So all across the big tent, there had been 12,000 people there. Loads of kids stood up, and then we said, right, all your friends, gather round, lay hands on them. We're going to coach you. We're going to encourage you. You just pray. And they started praying. And then hearing in different parts of the tent, people start clapping and cheering as the person they're praying for got healed. And then we had them come forward if they felt God had healed them to give testimonies. There were hundreds of them all around the stage writing out their testimonies. And there was one lad who came forward in tears. And he told my colleague, he had a cast on, and he said, on Monday, I broke my ankle playing football. The ambulance took me to the hospital. They x-rayed it. They said the ankle was broken. They put the cast on, and I've been in agony since. I haven't been able, I'm on the crutches. I haven't been able to stand on it. My friends prayed for me. Look now. And he just stood on that foot. He said, I can't feel a thing. And he was in tears. My colleague said to him, that's great. Now make sure you go back to the hospital and have it checked up before you don't do anything silly. Well, he ignored what my friend said. That evening, he came up to us before the meeting started with the cast in his hand. They'd sawn the cast off. And he said, look, You can have the cast. I'm fine, I'm fine. During the meeting, we told the story and we said, where are you, that lad? He jumped up and he ran forward and he jumped over people with his ankle in order to say he'd been healed. Now, for him, he'll go back. He'll tell everyone that story. He'll tell all his friends. He'll tell his family. What an encouragement, what a joy. And seeing the delight, not only on his face, but on his friend's face, is amazing. Moments like that kill you in the best way. And they just make you want more.
That's great. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming along for the interview today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's a pleasure to be here. The only thing that I need to say I'm a bit disappointed with is, and a bit upset, if I can say, is no one's asked me to sing.
All right. Well,
normally when I go places, I'm invited to sing.
Or we'd be happy for you to do it today if you want to.
Would you?
Yeah.
Could I? I
Yeah.
just want to sing a little solo. And what shall I sing? I'll sing something from the Beatles. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. The minute you let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better, 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 better. Na, 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 na. Hey, Jude. I think I'll stop there because I want to leave people wanting more. I've had to do that at the end of every Soul Survivor Festival for 19 years. The kids love my singing. They just want more. Mm-hmm. What can you say? When you've got talent, don't hide it. Let it flourish. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Well, that was our interview with Mike. I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to the next interview that will be up online shortly.